So recently, I was trying to do an archive where you have to hit like 6 exposed survivors in a single match. So I decided to bring Hex Devour Hope and play Michael Myers for a match to try to complete it. And in the process, I discovered what turned out to be an absolutely diabolical build for survivors to deal with. And it uses the 4 hexes Devour Hope, Undying, Thrill of the Hunt, and Pentimento. Now, the main focus of this build is Devour Hope, and as you probably know, whenever a survivor is unhooked more than 24 meters away from you, Devour Hope gets a token. At 3 tokens, all survivors are exposed, and at 5 tokens, you can instantly kill them, and the game is essentially over. But the risk of Devour Hope is that it can be removed if survivors manage to cleanse the totem, so the rest of this build is meant to just protect Devour Hope for as long as possible. Now, Undying is always the first hex totem cleanse, meaning that survivors have to find and cleanse at least 2 totems in order to get rid of Devour Hope. And that's where Thrill of the Hunt comes in, by making it basically twice as long for survivors to cleanse totems. Normally it takes 14 seconds to cleanse a totem, but with Thrill of the Hunt, the first totem takes 28 seconds, 23 seconds for the second, then 20, 18, and 16 for the 5th totem. And then the last perk you have is Pentimento, and that's there to punish survivors for cleansing. It allows you to revive a destroyed totem back into a hex totem, and that slows generator repair by 30%, followed by additional effects if you manage to revive more Pentimento totems. And reviving a totem also improves Thrill of the Hunt because it brings back a totem into the game and increases the time it takes to cleanse with Thrill of the Hunt. So with this build, survivors spend a lot of time cleansing totems, and they get punished for it. But here's the thing about these perks. Survivors don't actually see negative effects from totems until Devour Hope has 3 tokens and everyone's exposed. Sure, they might see that Undying is in the game, or that totems take longer to cleanse with Thrill of the Hunt, but no effect that would make them actively seek out hexes until they become exposed from Devour Hope. And even if they do cleanse totems before then, they'll see that you activate Pentimento, and then they won't want to risk cleansing another totem and getting slow repairs again. So usually, by the time Devour Hope has 3 tokens, it's too late for the survivors. They start searching for the totem, but it takes 28 seconds to get rid of Undying, and then they have to find a second totem that takes another 23 seconds to cleanse, and then it's a 50-50 chance that it's Thrill of the Hunt instead of Devour Hope, which they're trying to get to. And this whole time, you're going around, downing survivors, activating Pentimento, and protecting your totems. It's incredible how often you can interrupt cleansing when it takes twice as long and all the survivors are exposed. And every time you manage to interrupt a totem, the survivors have to start the whole thing over. So even if they do manage to finally destroy Devour Hope, they've spent so much time off of the gens trying to get to your totems that the momentum is usually in your favor. Now, I've tried this loadout on multiple killers. Pig does really well because she already has strong slowdown, and having to cleanse totems on top of solving reverse bear traps means that survivors pretty much have no time to do gens or heal up. And I've also used this build with success on Demogorgon, Knight, and Plague because they're pretty good at guarding totems. But the killer that I get the most mores and win consistently with is Michael Myers. And I have a few ideas why. When I play this build on other killers, the totems seem to be cleansed quickly, even before Devour Hope's activated, but there's something about Myers that makes the totems last longer. I think part of this is due to the fact that Myers doesn't have a terror radius at the beginning of the match, so I think survivors feel comfortable just working on the closest gens when they spawn, rather than hearing a terror radius, trying to avoid it, spreading out, and running around the map and finding your totems. And another benefit is that Myers can insta-down survivors, which allows you to end chases really quickly, and adds pressure that stops survivors from prioritizing your totems. They don't want to be caught cleansing a 30-second totem while they're exposed during Tier 3. Instead, they need to work on gens, unhook teammates, and try to avoid Myers until his Tier 3 ends. And one other advantage is that once you do have your 3rd token of Devour Hope, healthy survivors don't expect to go down when you're not in Tier 3, so they're willing to take a hit only to discover that Devour Hope is in the game. I recently played this build on stream and managed to kill at least 3 survivors in 7 of the 10 games I played, and that was without using any add-ons. It's absolutely disgusting how well this loadout lets you play. Of course, there may be other killers who can use this loadout as well, or even better than Myers, but I haven't had a chance to try them all. I expect Ghostface would have a similar experience because he's similar to Myers, but I suspect other insta-down killers like Cannibal or Hillbilly would have a lot of success, or killers that can trap totems like Hag or Trapper. So, if you decide to try this build out, let me know who you have the most success with and whether you think they can use it better than Meyers. And if you do play, good luck and happy hunting.